a woman of color or a woman with a disability or a member of the LGBTIQP plus community may experience greater discrimination?
When we talk about statistics, absolutely. Very clearly, women who have any other layers of intersectionality will have or will experience more discrimination. I know myself as a deaf woman, I definitely have discrimination, and it can occur at many layers. Sometimes it's not overt, it's not very obvious.
Oh, thank you. That is so awesome. And I love how you say it depends on the different intersections, because I think too often when we ask questions like this, we're assuming people are just ticking one box, but for most of us, we tick multiple boxes. Has there ever been a time when you have been told you weren't able to do something because of your gender?
Yeah, so many times. I think that I've often been told that I can't do things or I haven't been included because I'm deaf. But when I was quite young, I think it also had something to do with being a young person and being a young female. I remember when I was studying at university for my bachelor's degree, and I was in a particular course, and the teacher wasn't sure if I was able to complete that course because of my English proficiency, for example. And yeah, that was a very difficult circumstance. But I'm a very proud young deaf woman, and it's about being proud of who you are and what you are, and no one should be telling anyone that they can't because of all of those intersectionality layers that we've discussed.
We should all have access to equal opportunities and be able to contribute. So thank you so much for that, Drisana. I couldn't have put it better myself.
Have you ever noticed or experienced differences in how you were treated because of your gender?
Oh, absolutely. I have noticed the way people treat me because I'm a woman. So growing up, for example, when I would go to community events, I would notice that all the women were told to go outside and cook and make a salad and stuff like that. The men would be the ones leading the meeting and making decisions. In those instances, it was very clear to me that gender was the defining discrimination. We should be inclusive of all the intersecting other forms of oppressions that women face, not just gender, but like racism and ableism and transphobia and homophobia, for example. I have no patience for any form of discrimination. I don't care what people's intent are. I don't care if you're smiling to me. I will not tolerate it.
Violence against women is often not physical. Can you name some examples of non-physical forms of abuse?
Absolutely. And in my line of work, and I've worked in the domestic and family violence space, I have always had a problem with the fact that everyone just assumes that the only valid form of violence against women and girls is the physical one. And so I actually have quite a passion for naming the non-physical forms of violence. And they are emotional abuse, which, is the words, the way somebody treats you to put you down, to degrade you. Then we have psychological. And with psychological, this is where we see the gaslighting. Then we have sexual abuse, which can be both physical and non-physical. We also have spiritual abuse, which I think doesn't get talked about a lot, which is when one spiritual belief, no matter what form it is, when that's used against you, when that is used to control you, when that is used to manipulate you, that is spiritual abuse. And we also have technological abuse, which is now such a rampant thing given how we use social media and how connected we are online. So the types of non-physical violence I have, physical abuse, I have named emotional, psychological, financial, spiritual, cultural, and technological. There will be others there because every single day we see new nuance, way and forms of abuse popping up. In fact, research says that long before a physical act will take place, there will already be the presence of non-physical violence. I know as a survivor of violence, there have been times when I've wished I had a physical injury so people would take me seriously. This is why we must do so much more education so we can do better. We must do better.